Estimating our scores after the college entrance exam, I got a 699. My campus crush got a 698. She refused to take the L. She cornered me outside the boys' bathroom for a bet. Are you in or out? I smirked. Bet on what? If I beat you by 1 point, you belong to me for the entire 3-month summer break. And what if I beat you? I countered. Her face flushed red. She stuck her neck out and stammered. If you beat me by 1 point, Neat, I'll let you hold my hand. 2 points. I'll let you hug me. 3 points. She bit her lip. Her face was as red as a ripe apple. She couldn't get the rest out. I just laughed. Little did she know, I totally forgot to add the points for one whole question. At the post-exam appreciation banquet, the private room was as loud as a wet market. A bunch of monkeys just released from prison, howling, saying we wouldn't leave until we were trashed. I huddled in the corner, stuffing my face with food. Suddenly, a waft of perfume hit me. Someone sat down. It was Bai Nangbing, the campus crush of our school, the absolute ceiling of youthful beauty. The guys chasing her could line up from the school gates to the second ring road. Too bad her standards are sky high. She doesn't give anyone the time of day. I've been low-key crushing on her for 3 years. Besides, my ride or die bros. Nobody knows. Fang Yuan. She spoke up, her voice as cool and detached as her vibe. With my mouth stuffed with meat, I mumbled I heard you estimated a 699. My heart skipped a beat. This thing. Only our homeroom teacher and a few close friends knew about it. How did she find out? I nodded and stayed quiet. I got a 698. Her voice wasn't loud, but it carried a serious refuse to lose vibe. I just said, oh, and kept getting food. She seemed triggered by my cold attitude. She pinned down my chopsticks. Hey, you only beat me by 1 point. What are you flexing for? I didn't know whether to laugh or cry. I'm not flexing, sis. Then, do you dare make a bet with me? Her eyes were sparkling, like freshly forged stars. She had my attention. Bet on what? She leaned in closer, lowering her voice. Her warm breath tickled my ear. Let's bet on the final scores. If mine is higher, even by just 1 point, you have to listen to me this entire summer break. You do whatever I tell you to do. She paused and added, nothing illegal, obviously. I chuckled. This bet was getting interesting. And what if I score higher than you? I shot. Bai Nangbing's pale cheeks instantly flared red. She stuck her neck out, like she was making a massive decision. If you beat me by 1 point, I'll let you hold my hand. My heartbeat spiked. She wasn't looking at me. Her eyes were darting around, but her voice grew firmer. 2 points. I'll let you hug me. 3 points. She bit her lower lip. Even her ears were completely red. Her voice was as soft as a mosquito. I'll let you kiss me. After saying that, it was like she'd used up all her strength. She grabbed her watermelon juice and chugged it, looking at her like this. I was overjoyed on the inside. You little tease, playing this game with me. After the last exam finished, I was too hyped while checking my answers. The final physics question was worth a solid 6 points. I completely forgot to add it in it. In other words, my guaranteed baseline score was 699 to 6, QQ a 705. She got 698. I was beating her by at least 7 points so. Hand-holding, hugging, kissing. This was an absolute steal. I cleared my throat, pretending to be cool. And what if I beat you by 4 points? Bai Nangbing choked on her watermelon juice, coughing until her face was totally red. She glared at me, like I was daydreaming. If you can actually beat me by 4 points. She took a deep breath, like she was just sending it. I'll be yours to boss around this summer. Deal. I slapped my thigh, terrified she'd back out. A gentleman's word is a promise. Cap. After she spoke, like she'd just completed some glorious hardcore mission, she turned and left. Even her silhouette looked a bit tragic. My bros huddled around me, smirking. Brother Yuan, not bad. Even got the campus crush acting up. What do you mean flirting? This is a man's romance. I shook my head smugly, already picturing Bai Nangbing obediently taking the L in front of me. My bro Fei nudged me, but real talk. Aren't you scared of fumbling this? Bai Nangbing is a straight up. What if she underestimated her score? I scoffed. Impossible. You guys just don't know her. Whatever she does, she plays it strictly by the book. As meticulous as an old scholar. When it comes to estimating scores, she'd probably calculate it down to 2 decimal places. There's no way she made a mistake. My 6-point lead is totally locked in. I raised my glass and downed it. This summer is definitely not going to be boring. The day after making the bet, I kind of regretted it. Not regretting the bet itself, but regretting that I didn't make the terms bulletproof. What if, just what if, she decided to cheat? The more I thought about it, the more paranoid I got. Bai Ningbing might look quiet and gentle, but she's stubborn as hell to the bone. Otherwise, just over a 1-point difference. She wouldn't have made a bet like this with me. I whipped out my phone, clicked on that WeChat avatar I hardly ever messaged. It was still her military training photo, wearing a baggy camo uniform. Is Suri, yet still looking miles better than the girls around her. I hesitated for ages before typing. So, about yesterday's bet. It's still on, right? Sent it. Radio silence for a minute. 2 minutes. 10 minutes passed. Just when I thought she was ghosting me, my phone buzzed. Bai Ningbing. A single question mark, radiating cold girl energy. I quickly replied, the bet. Bai Ningbing, you wanna back out? Me, no way. I was just worried you'd back out. Silence, on her end. A solid 5 minutes passed. Before she replied, Bai Ningbing, relax. I Bai Ningbing, keep my word. But, are you ready to be my slave this summer? Followed by a smug emoji. I laughed, so confident, I'll be waiting. Hope you don't cry when you lose. Bai Ningbing, ha, another one-word conversation killer. I put my phone down. The massive weight on my chest finally lifted. As long as she doesn't cheat, I'm good. The next few days were boring as hell. Without the pressure of school, I felt like all my bones had been removed. Had zero energy to do anything. Until a few days later, the class group chat suddenly blew up. The class president dropped a link. It was news about early admissions and arts enrollment. Someone tagged Bai Ningbing in the chat. Baining goddess. Did you apply for early admission to the media university? I heard that broadcasting and hosting major only recruits a few people nationwide. The academic requirements are insanely high. My heart skipped. Bai Ningbing wants to be a host. I hadn't heard about this. She is crazy photogenic though, and her voice is super nice. Cool but with a hint of sweetness. If she became a host, she'd definitely blow up. Soon, Bai Ningbing herself replied, Bai Ningbing, no. I didn't apply for early admission. Someone else in the chat asked, then where is the goddess planning to apply? Tsinghua or Peking University? Bai Ningbing, haven't decided yet. I'll wait until the scores are out. Her answer was completely artec, but, from her words, I smelled something off. Didn't apply for early admission. How come I remember last time outside the office? I thought I heard her and the homeroom teacher talking about bonus points. I didn't care at the time, but thinking about it now, my heart totally sank. What are the categories for college entrance exam? Bonus points again. Olympiads. She didn't participate. The 3 good student bonus points got cancelled ages ago. Could it be? I suddenly remembered something. Freshman year, during the school's ethnic culture festival, Bai Ningbing wore her ethnic group's traditional clothing once. It was stunning, but I forgot exactly which ethnic group it was. Think it was Tujia or something? I immediately went online to check the exam bonus point policy. When the words ethnic minority, bonus points, hit my eyes, my brain started buzzing. I frantically typed Tujia into the search engine. Exam bonus points. The page loaded. According to the latest policy, ethnic minority candidates scattered in Han regions get 5 bonus points. Candidates from ethnic minority communities get 10 or 20 bonus points. I had zero idea where Bai Ningbing's family was from. But whether it's 5 or 10 points, it's absolute disaster for me. My locked-in 6-point lead instantly became sketchy as hell. If she got 5 bonus points, her total is 698, 25, 703, and me, 699, 6, he 705. I'd still beat her by 2 points. The bet downgrades from a kiss to a hug. That's fine. Still a W, but what if she gets 10 points? 698, 2, 10, 7, 8, 10, 7, 8, and 8. And at my absolute max, I'm only at 705. I'd be down by a whole 3 points. Not only no kiss, no hug, not even holding hands. and I'd be slaving away for her the whole damn summer. My hands started shaking, cold sweat dripping down my forehead. It's over. We're cooked. I fell right into her trap. In that moment, it felt like the sky was falling. The image of Bai Ningbing, looking totally smug and locked in, like a guaranteed winner during our bet, flashed in my mind again. Turns out she wasn't just capping. She actually had a hidden trump card. I slumped in my chair, my brain going completely blank. No way. I can't just sit here and take the L. I need to figure out exactly how many bonus points she's getting. 5 points versus 10 points. That's literally the difference between heaven and hell. Who do I ask? Asking Bai Ningbing directly is a no-go. That's basically self-reporting. Ask her besties. I don't even know them like that. After thinking it over, I locked my target onto our homeroom teacher, Old Wang. Old Wang is a chill guy, and we're on pretty good terms. Most importantly, all the exam registration and bonus point paperwork goes through him. He definitely knows the tea. I made up an excuse, saying I needed advice on applying for colleges, and gave Old Wang a call. After some small talk, I casually brought it up. Mr. Wang, do we have anyone getting bonus points in our class this year? Old Wang chuckled on the other end. Of course we do. How could we forget Bai Ningbing? She gets 10 points for being an ethnic minority. That girl is always so quiet, but she really drops surprises when it counts. 10 points. I felt my voice shaking. 10 points. So if her estimate was 698, her actual score is a 708. With that score, she can practically pick any university in the country. Old Wang was still happily rambling on the phone, but I didn't hear a single word after that. Only 2 numbers were echoing in my head. 10 points. So it's over. I'm dead meat. I hung up the phone. I felt like all the energy had been drained from my body. The kiss, the hug, holding hands, all of it popped like a bubble. What awaited me was a dark 2-month career as her absolute slave, thinking about Bai Ningbing's innocent little face, and all the weird twisted demands she might make of me, like making me cross-dress and dance in the middle of the street, or making me do her homework for the entire break, although there's no homework in college, or making me scoop poop for her giant dog all summer. I shivered. The more I thought about it, the scarier it got. My WeChat pinged. I picked it up and looked. It was Bai Ningbing. Bai Ningbing, you there? Figured out how you're going to serve your queen. Followed by a little devil emoji. My vision went dark. She was already celebrating her W in advance. I gritted my teeth and replied, don't get cocky. Bai Ningbing, ooh. Still refusing to take the L. It's fine, and when the scores drop, you'll know true despair. I could practically see her on the other side, cracking up over her screen. No way, I can't just surrender like this. I, Fang Yuan, refuse to suffer this absolute humiliation. I started frantically mentally replaying every single detail of the exam. Were there any questions where I might have popped off? The Chinese essay. I wrote a super standard argumentative essay. Getting an average score would be lucky. No way it stood out. Math, I checked it 800 times. Got 1 multiple choice wrong. Lost 5 points. That was completely locked in. English. My level is what it is. Hitting 140 would be a miracle. Science. Wait, science T. That huge physics question I forgot to add to my estimate. I only skimmed over it at the time. Checked the answer key. Felt like I got all the steps right, and the result was basically there. So I just assumed I'd get the full 6 points. That question was a complex electromagnetic induction problem. It had multiple parts. The last part was open-ended, asking to design an experimental setup. The grading for those kinds of questions is super flexible. What if, just what if, my design was super novel and creative? What if the grader was vibing with it and tossed me a few extra points? So, even though the chances were insanely low, it was my absolute only lifeline right now. I stared intensely at my phone and tapped Bai Ningbing's profile. Me? Bai Ningbing. Bai Ningbing. Me. You better not celebrate too early. It's still up in the air who's taking the W. Bai Ningbing. I'll be waiting. I put my phone down and let out a massive sigh. Only one thought in my head. Please, Please, let that physics question give me a few extra points. Even just 1 point. No, 2 points so I can win. I'm begging you. Waiting for the scores to drop was absolute torture. Every day, I was living in a totally schizophrenic state. 1 second I was thinking, it's over, I'm cooked. Get ready to be Bai Nangbing's servant. The next second, a spark of hope. What if that physics question actually pulls a miracle? This feeling was way worse than the actual exam prep. Meanwhile, Bai Ningbing kept popping in to troll me. One day sending, "Peasant, come, pay your respects to the queen." The next day, "I'm going to learn scuba diving this summer. You can come be my personal bag boy." Every time I'd grit my teeth and just reply, "Get out," and she'd respond with a string of obnoxious laughing emojis. I seriously suspect she's already mapped out exactly how to torture me for the next 2 months on an entire spreadsheet. Finally, the night before score release arrived, I didn't sleep a wink, tossing and turning in bed like a maniac. The moment the sky started getting light, I dragged myself up, eyes completely bloodshot. My ride-or-die bros were even more hyped than I was. They made a group chat named Witnessing a Miracle or Witnessing a Massacre. A Fei, at Fanguan Brother Yuan, you alive? What time do scores drop? Me, 10 a.m. Fatty, you nervous? Spicy, ain't it? Me, screw off, a Fei. But, real talk, did you and Bai Nangbing set up how to cash in on the bet? I paused. Right, we hadn't set that up yet. Just as I was thinking about it, my phone buzzed. It was Bai Ningbing. Bai Ningbing, 10 a.m. at the school gates. We check scores together. Cash in face to face. Nobody runs. I stared at the screen. Took a deep breath. Okay, bet. Going for the public execution, huh? I replied. Whatever, I'm getting chopped either way. Might as well face it. 18 years from now, I'll be reincarnated as a real man again. I dragged myself through getting ready. Ate the champion's porridges my mom made, feeling like it was my last meal on death row. With half an hour until 10 a.m., I strolled over to the school gates. On a summer morning, the sun was already a bit blinding. The school entrance was completely empty, just a few old guys doing their morning exercises. I found some shade and leaned against the wall, my stomach doing flip-flops. 9:55. A white rideshare pulled up to the curb. The door opened. Bai Ningbing stepped out. She was wearing a light yellow sundress today. Her long hair was down, not tied up. A breeze blew past, making her dress and hair flutter together, looking exactly like the main character in a movie. She saw me too, and walked straight over. Her face was pretty blank, but in her eyes hid a mix of undeniable smugness and nerves. "You're here," she spoke first. "Mm-hmm," I nodded. The two of us just stood there. Neither of us said another word. The air was filled with oi. This thick, awkward, and tense vibe. Time ticked by second. My heart beat faster and faster. My palms started sweating. Finally, it was 10 a.m. Bai Ningbing pulled out her phone and glanced at me. "Ready," I nodded, unlocked my screen, and opened the score-checking site. "I'll count 1, 2, 3, and we hit search together." She said okay. Her voice trembled slightly, exposing her inner panic. "So she gets nervous too, huh?" I suddenly felt a bit more balanced. 1, 2. I entered my exam ID and password. 3. We both mashed the search button at the exact same time. The page started loading. That little spinning loading wheel looked exactly like the wheel of destiny in my eyes. Heaven or hell? We were about to find out. The loading wheel spun for a solid dozen seconds. It felt like an entire century had passed. Finally, the page refreshed. Rows of subjects and scores popped up clearly on the screen. Chinese, 132. Math, 140. English, 144. Comprehensive Science, 295. Total score, 711. I stared at that 711. I was completely stunned. 711? How could it be 711? Didn't I estimate 699? Even adding those 6 forgotten physics points, that's only 705. Where did the extra 6 points come from? Did they just fall out of the sky? I rubbed my eyes hard. Looked again. No mistake. It was 711. I felt like I just got hit by a massive truck of joy. My brain short-circuited. All I could do was stand there grinning like an idiot. I won! I actually won! Bai Ningbing plus 10 points. Her total was 708. My 711 beat her by a whole 3 points. 3 points. What does that mean? It means not only do I not have to be her slave, I also get to. I whipped my head around to look at Bai Ningbing next to me. Her expression was even more priceless than mine. She stood there, completely frozen, holding her phone. Her eyes were as wide as saucers. Her mouth, hanging slightly open, looking like she'd just seen an alien. Her phone screen displayed her score too. Total score, 708, just like old Wang said. Her estimated score plus the 10 bonus points, exact match. Too bad she was up against a guy with cheat codes like me. The air was dead silent, only the rustling of the wind through the leaves. After a long while, Bai Ningbing finally seemed to snap out of it. She stared at her own phone in disbelief, then looked at my phone, looking back and forth a bunch of times. Impossible, she muttered to herself. Her voice was full of confusion and sheer denial. This is absolutely impossible. How could you possibly score a 711? Didn't you estimate 699? She snapped her head up, staring daggers at me, looking at me like she was interrogating a suspect. Seeing her look like she was about to cry from frustration, my smugness suddenly turned into sympathy. But I still held back my laughter, cleared my throat. My bad. I guess I was just being a little humble with my estimate. Humble? Bai Ningbing's pitch completely cracked. You call that humble? That's a straight-up scam. She was so mad her face went pale. Fang Yuan, did you do this on purpose? You knew you scored this high all along, and deliberately lowballed just to bait me. I frantically waved my hands. I swear on my life, I didn't. I literally just forgot to add the points for one huge question. One question makes a 12-point difference. She obviously wasn't buying it. I'm just as confused as you are. I quickly pulled up my science score breakdown, and then I looked at the physics section. The final physics question wasn't out of 6 points. It was 12 points, and I got a perfect score. Holy shit. I remember it clearly. During the mock exams, similar question types only ever had the last part worth around 6 points. How did it double for the actual exam? Did they reform the test format this year? I shoved my phone in front of her. See for yourself. I'm seriously not capping. This question was literally worth 12 points. Bai Ningbing leaned in for a look, and instantly deflated. The facts were right there. She had no choice but to believe it. She lowered her head and went quiet, her long eyelashes drooping down, hiding the emotions in her eyes, looking pretty pitiful like that. I actually started feeling guilty, even though winning felt amazing. Seeing her this bummed out made me feel bad too. Look, I was just about to say something to comfort her, like, maybe we just cancel the bet. Or honestly, being your slave for the summer is something I'd totally be down for. But then she suddenly whipped her head up, her eyes completely red. Fang Yuan, don't think you've won just yet. She gritted her teeth and said word by word, the bet still stands, see. I Bai Ningbing accept my loss. I was completely stunned, looking at her stubborn little face and her red-rimmed eyes. All the comforting words I had queued up got completely stuck in my throat. She was being dead serious. How about we just forget about it? I scratched my head, speaking up somewhat awkwardly. It was just a joke. No need to take it so seriously. Who's joking with you? Bai Ningbing glared at me fiercely. Fang Yuan, are you looking down on me? You think I'm a sore loser? No, absolutely not. I frantically waved my hands. Why is this princess getting mad? She took a deep breath, like she had made some massive decision. She took a step forward. The distance between us instantly shrank to just half a step. I could even smell the faint scent of shampoo in her hair. My useless heart started pounding like crazy again. According to the BT, she looked at me, her gaze a little evasive, too shy to make eye contact, two very suspicious red clouds blooming on her cheeks. I scored 3 points lower than you. So, she paused for a second, her voice as quiet as a mosquito. You can kiss me. After dropping that line, like she'd used up every last drop of courage, she squeezed her eyes shut, her long eyelashes trembling with nerves. looking totally like a lamb ready for slaughter. Looking at her like this, I felt all the blood in my body rush straight to my head. My God, this W came way too fast. The sunlight filtering through the leaves dappled across her face. Her skin was super fair, almost translucent in the sun. You could even see the fine peach fuzz. Her lips were a soft, pale pink, pressed slightly together from the nerves. I gulped. My throat felt so dry it was practically smoking. Logic told me I should be a gentleman right now. Say, forget it, and then turn and walk away looking cool. But the emotional little devil was screaming wildly in my ear. Go for it! What are you waiting for? This is Bai Ningbing. One kiss, and your whole life has peaked. My inner angels and demons fought for 3 seconds. Finally, emotion absolutely crushed logic. To hell with being a gentleman. I took a deep breath. Slowly, very slowly, I leaned in towards her. My heart was beating so fast it felt like it would jump out of my throat. Closer and closer. I could even feel her warm breath gently brushing against my face. Right as our lips were about to touch, Bai Ningbing suddenly popped her eyes open. A flash of mischief in her eyes. Wait, she extended her index finger and pressed it against my lips. Fast and perfectly accurate. I totally froze. What are you doing? I was kind of dazed. The corners of Bai Ningbing's mouth curled up into a pretty little smirk. She blinked, her long eyelashes fluttering like 2 little fans. Who said a kiss has to be lip to lip? She held up the finger she had just pressed against my lips and waved it in front of my face. If I kiss my hand, and then touch your lips with this finger, if we round it up, it counts as me kissing you. That fulfilled. After dropping that, looking like a little fox that just got away with it, she stuck her tongue out at me, and then turned and bolted, leaving me standing there alone, completely bamboozled in the wind. I got totally freaking played. I looked down at my finger, then looked up at her retreating figure, the yellow dress, painting a beautiful arc in the wind. I didn't know whether to laugh or cry. How is this girl's brain wired? How did she even come up with such a troll move, even though I didn't get a real kiss? For some reason, not only was I not disappointed, I actually felt like it was kind of sweet. For the next few days, I was completely out of it. My mind kept uncontrollably flashing back to that scene at the school gates. Bai Ningbing's mischievous smile, and her fluttering dress when she ran away, like a slow-motion movie scene, playing on loop in my head, and that finger that got kissed. I didn't have the heart to wash it for days. When my bro Fei found out, he almost died laughing. Brother Yuan, I can only say you're way too young. When it comes to mind games, you're not even in Bai Ningbing's league. I rolled my eyes at him. You don't know shit. This is called vibe. Even though I said that, deep down I was still a little salty. Getting played by her like that. If word got out, where would I put my pride? No, I need to get my get back. But the bet was already fulfilled. What excuse could I even use? Just as I was stressing over it, my phone rang. I picked it up to check. It was actually a message from Bai Ningbing. Bai Ningbing, you there? My heart leaped. But I still had to play it cool on the surface. I waited 5 whole minutes before slowly replying with an ESM. Bai Ningbing, free this weekend. I was internally screaming with joy, but my typing hand stayed toxic. Me, why? Wanna treat me to a meal to apologize? Bai Ningbing, in your dreams, I found an awesome escape room. Wanna go together? An escape room, and it's a horror theme. Instantly, an image popped into my head of Bai Ningbing screaming in terror and diving straight into my arms. This was a once-in-a-lifetime golden opportunity. I held back my hype and played hard to get. Me, I'll think about it. Bai Ningbing, come or don't, I'll just find someone else. I panicked. Me, wait, I'll go. Send the addy. Bai Ningbing sent an address and a time, followed by an okay emoji. I put my phone down. I almost jumped right off the bed. Talk about getting exactly what you asked for. Bai Ningbing. Oh, Bai Ningbing. You think you can just play me and walk away safe? This time, I'll show you. What happens when you invite the wolf into your house? When the weekend rolled around, I explicitly dripped myself out in a new t-shirt, styled my hair to what I thought looked super handsome, and secretly sprayed a little of my dad's cologne. The second I walked out, my mom caught the scent. Ooh, is my son going on a date? My face flushed red. Class reunion. Reunion? My mom gave me an "I totally believe you" sarcastic look. She pulled a few red bills from her wallet and shoved them into my hand. Take this. Don't be cheap on my watch. If you see a girl you like, make a move. I squeezed the cash, feeling a warmth in my heart. Arriving at the escape room entrance, Bai Ningbing was already there. She was dressed super casual today. A white tee with denim shorts, and a pair of canvas sneakers on her feet. Her long hair tied up in a high ponytail, looking fresh and totally put together. Seeing me, she waved. Right on time. Obviously, we walked inside side by side. I secretly took a deep breath. Didn't smell any of that mischievous fox energy. Just the sweet, fresh scent of a girl. The escape room theme was Silent Hospital. Just the name itself was creepy as hell. While the staff explained the rules, I secretly observed Bai Ningbing. She was listening, super carefully. Her face was completely blank. Couldn't tell if she was scared or not. Got to admit, this girl's mental game is solid. The game started pretty quickly. We were blindfolded and led into a pitch-black room. Clang, the door locked behind us. The second our blindfolds came off, a damp chill hit us right in the face. The lighting in the room was insanely dim. We could barely make out the outlines of the room. Looked like an abandoned hospital ward. Huge chunks of wallpaper were peeling off, and in the corner sat a hospital bed covered with a white sheet. The speakers played static buzzing, mixed with a woman's sobbing. The atmosphere was instantly dialed to max. Hey, I whispered. I'm right here. Bai Ningbing's voice came from my left. Very close to me. Her voice was super steady. Didn't sound scared at all. I was honestly a little disappointed. Guess seeing her scream her lungs out wasn't going to be that easy. We split up to look for clues. The room wasn't big, but the props were incredibly realistic. Rusty surgical scalpels, gauze stained with mysterious blood, and a medical record book with messy handwriting. While flipping through the medical records, I kept watching Bai Ningbing out of the corner of my eye. She was crouching by that bed, covered with the white sheet. Seemed to be studying something. Suddenly, the lights flickered and completely died. The entire space instantly plunged into pitch-black darkness. At the exact same time, the sobbing from the speakers turned into a blood-curdling scream. Ah! A short, sharp gasp came from Bai Ningbing's direction. Immediately after, I felt a soft body slam right into my arms. In the dark, I could clearly feel her body trembling. Her rapid heartbeat. She was practically glued to me, her hands gripping my arm for dear life. I admit, my heart pathetically skipped a beat. Just a second ago, I was complaining she was too unfazed. Now I just want to give this NPC a massive raise. Don't be scared. I got you. I whispered right by her ear. My voice seemed to give her a little comfort. Her grip on my arm loosened just a bit, but she still didn't leave my embrace. What was that? Her voice was shaking with a sob. It's fine. It's all fake. Just an NPC. I was comforting her out loud. But internally, I was absolutely thriving. The lights flickered back on right. Then, I looked down and saw Bai Ning burying her face in my chest. Her long ponytail brushing against my chin, making it tickle. She seemed to realize our position was a bit too intimate. Her face instantly flushed bright red, and she quickly backed out of my arms. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to. She kept her head down, too shy to look at me. It's all good. I held back my smirk. Playing the role of the perfect gentleman, girls getting scared, is totally normal. She didn't say a word, but her ears were so red, they could bleed. For the rest of the puzzles, Bai Ningbing was like a completely different person, sticking right behind me the entire time. Wherever I went, she followed, like a little shadow. Whenever a creepy sound effect triggered, or an NPC suddenly jumped out, she'd instinctively grab the hem of my shirt. I kept saying, Bai Ningbing, you're such a scaredy cat. But deep down, I was loving it. Having her rely on me felt amazing. Finally, under my brilliant leadership, we made it out alive and reached the final room. This room was set up like the hospital director's office. The passcode to escape was hidden in a locked desk drawer, and according to the clues, the key was inside the body of a half-human-sized teddy bear. That teddy bear was sitting on a chair in the corner. Its eyes were two black, hollow buttons, grinning with a super creepy smile. The key is in its stomach. We have to reach in and grab it, I said. Bai Ningbing took one look at that bear. Her face went pale. I can't. It's fine, I got this. I volunteered and walked over, acting all brave and fearless. Though honestly, I was kind of freaked out too, half expecting the bear to come alive and bite me the next second. I shoved my hand into the cotton stuffing of the bear's stomach, fumbling around blindly, just as my fingers brushed against a cold metal key. The teddy bear's head suddenly snapped 180 degrees around with zero warning. Those hollow button eyes stared dead at me. At the exact same time, the speakers blasted a terrifying shriek. Holy shit! Even with mental prep, that jump scare still sent my soul flying. I yanked my hand out instantly. Behind me, Bai Ningbing let out an ear-piercing scream that could shatter glass. Ah! And then, she did something completely unexpected. Like a startled rabbit, instead of hiding behind me, she literally tackled me from behind and threw her arms around my waist. Her face pressed tight against my back. I completely froze. Is she literally throwing herself at me? Even through 2 layers of clothes, I could clearly feel her softness and her violently racing heartbeat. My face, flushed even redder than hers was earlier. Oh man, now it's my turn to have a heart attack. I felt like an electric current was shooting down my spine, numbing and tingling. Bai Ningbing was completely clinging to me, shivering uncontrollably. Fang Yuan, that bear. It moved. Her voice was thick with tears. Hearing that totally melted my heart. I cleared my throat, trying to make my voice sound as chill as possible. Don't be scared, it's just an animatronic. It's fake. While talking, I used my free hand to pull that key out of the bear's stomach. Seeing the key secured, I shook it in the air. Only then did Bai Ningbing cautiously peek her little head out from behind my back. Seeing the key, she let out a breath of relief, but still didn't let go of her grip around me. Hurry, go open the lock, she urged. I didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Miss, how am I supposed to walk with you holding me like this? She finally realized what she was doing. Her face turned red, and she let go like she got electrocuted. I turned around and saw her looking down, her fingers awkwardly twisting and playing with each other, her face as red as a ripe apple. All that fear from a second ago completely turned into pure shyness. I was secretly loving this. I took the key and walked over to the desk, unlocked the drawer. Inside the drawer was a card with a string of numbers written on it. Gotta be the passcode for the main door. I grabbed the card and walked up to the keypad lock, punched in the numbers. Beep. The door popped open, and bright light from outside flooded in, chasing away all the creepy, gloomy vibes of the room. We cleared it. The staff walked over, smiling and congratulating us. Bai Ningbing let out a massive exhale, her whole body finally relaxing. She patted her chest and muttered under her breath, "Scared me to death." Looking at her, still recovering from the trauma, I couldn't hold it back and laughed out loud. Bai Ningbing, didn't realize you were such a scaredy cat. She looked up and glared at me, her cheeks puffed up. None of your business. That look. Not only was it 0% threatening, it was actually kind of cute. By the time we got out of the escape room, it was already evening. The sunset dyed the sky a deep orange. We walked side by side on the sidewalk. Neither of us said a word, but the vibe was completely different from when we arrived. Gone was the awkwardness and the rivalry, replaced by this unspoken, ambiguous tension. In the end, I broke the silence first. "Hey, thanks for today." She said it super softly. "Thanks for what?" "For carrying you through the escape room." I teased her on purpose, but she shook her head, stopped walking and turned to look at me. The afterglow of the sunset framed her side profile in a soft, golden halo. Her eyes were totally sincere. "Thanks for protecting me when I was scared." Getting stared at like that made me a little shy. I scratched my head. "No worries, it's what I should do. To pay you back, let me treat you to dinner," she said. "Sure." I agreed with zero hesitation. Only an idiot turns down a free meal. She seemed to already know exactly where she wanted to go, leading me through a maze of alleys. Deep inside the alley was a super low-key BBQ spot. The place was tiny, but absolutely packed, filled with that raw street food energy. Here? I was kind of surprised. I thought a goddess like her would take me to some fancy Western restaurant. Yeah, right here, she smiled at me, her eyes curving into little crescents. Don't let the size fool you. The food here is god tier. Back in high school, I used to sneak over here to eat after every exam. So this was her secret base. And she actually wanted to share her secret base with me. I suddenly felt a wave of warmth in my chest, like I had just stepped one bit closer to her. The owner of the BBQ spot was a hearty middle-aged uncle. He was obviously super familiar with Bai Ningbing. Oh, Ting is here. How come you have time to bring a classmate over today? Bai Ningbing smiled and introduced me. This is my classmate, Fang Yuan. Then she whispered to me, this is Uncle Wang, my dad's old army buddy. I quickly and politely called out, hello, Uncle Wang. Uncle Wang looked me up and down and broke into a very meaningful grin. Young man looks pretty sharp, huh? Is this Ting's boyfriend? Bai Ningbing's face instantly turned bright red. Uncle Wang, don't talk nonsense. We're just normal classmates. As she spoke, she practically shoved me into a seat while she ran over to the fridge to grab 2 bottles of soda. Watching her slightly panicked back, I was thrilled on the inside. Uncle Wang is the ultimate wingman. The skewers arrived super fast. Sizzling, greasy lamb skewers, golden and crispy chicken wings, and my absolute favorite roasted chives. The smell was insane. I was ready to feast. Bai Ningbing placed a bottle of soda in front of me. Try this. Their family makes this themselves. You can't buy this anywhere else. I took a sip, sweet and sour with a fresh, fruity flavor. It was seriously good. The two of us chatted while we ate, talking about the college entrance exam, future universities, and our hobbies. I realized that if you strip away the campus crush and straight-A god titles, Bai Ningbing is actually just a normal girl. She likes watching funny variety shows and laughs so hard she leans all the way forward and back. She also complains about how bad the school food is and how ugly the uniforms are. She also gets frustrated when she can't solve a problem. Turns out, she's not some untouchable, otherworldly fairy. She has her own emotions, her own highs and lows. It was a really amazing feeling, like I was seeing a much more real, much more vibrant Bai Ningbing. When we were almost done eating, Bai Ningbing suddenly put down her skewer, looked at me, and asked very seriously, Fang Yuan, which university are you applying to? I paused for a second, haven't really decided yet. Probably, just the local, a university. A university is a pretty solid Project 985 school. It's close to home, and my parents really want me to apply there. Bai Ningbing nodded thoughtfully. What about you? I asked her back. She hesitated for a second, and said, I might go to Beijing. Beijing? My heart. Zank, isn't that going to be really far away? Yeah, I just really like the vibe there, she said. I suddenly completely lost my appetite, thinking about how once the semester starts, we'd be one in the south and one in the north, over 1,000 kilometers apart. My chest felt totally tight. Would it be super hard to see each other after this? I had finally managed to close the gap. Just this tiny bit. Was it all going to abruptly end just because of long distancy? Why aren't you eating? She asked, when she saw I wasn't moving. Oh, I'm full. I forced out a smile. The vibe instantly became kinda heavy. Bai Ningbing seemed to notice my mood change too. She bit her lip, like she wanted to say something, but in the end, she didn't say it. After dinner, we walked home in silence. The summer night breeze carried a hint of chill. The streetlights stretched our shadows out super long. We reached an intersection where we had to split up. I'm home. She pointed to the residential complex next to us. I nodded. I'm gonna go then. She turned and walked 2 steps, then suddenly stopped. She turned back to look at me. The light from the street lamp reflected in her eyes, looking like a shattered galaxy. Fang Yuan. Yeah? Let me know when you fill out your college application. She smiled at me, and then turned and ran into the complex. I stood right there, watching her figure disappear into the dark, feeling all kinds of mixed emotions. What did her last sentence mean? Was it just a pure, normal classmate goodbye? Or did she also feel a little bit reluctant to let me go? I didn't dare to overthink it. I was scared I was just making things up in my head. The day to submit our college applications was super humid. Felt like a massive rainstorm was coming. I sat in front of the computer, looking at the insanely dense list of universities and majors on the screen. My head was spinning. My mom was next to me, fanning me with a fan, continuously nagging, "Son, just apply to a university. It's close to home, mom can still cook you good food every day. A university's computer science major is ranked #1 in the country. You won't have to worry about finding a job after graduation." My dad was next to her, brewing tea, looking super serious. A boy should have ambition. Those top-tier universities in Beijing. You could try aiming for those too. I didn't hear a single word they were saying. My head was completely full of Bai Ningbing's sentence. "Let me know when you fill out your college application." Should I tell her or not? If I tell her, what does it even change? Would she actually give up on going to Beijing just for me? "Don't be stupid, Fang Yuan." I laughed at myself. After hesitating over and over, I still opened up Bai Ningbing's WeChat. Me, I'm planning to apply to a university. I regretted it the second I sent it, feeling like an inmate, waiting to hear his sentence. A long time passed. So long I thought she was just going to leave me on read. Then my phone finally buzzed. Bai Ningbing. Oh, just one word. I felt like a bucket of ice water just got dumped over my head. As expected, I was totally overthinking it. She completely didn't care. I felt a wave of disappointment, feeling defeated. I got ready to type in a university's code on the application form. Right at that moment, my phone buzzed again. It was Bai Ningbing again. Oh, nai. What about that University of Posts and Telecommunications right next to a university? I froze. The University of Posts and Telecommunications, right next to a university. Isn't that BU? It's also a very solid project. 211 school. Communications engineering is their ace major. The cutoff scores aren't low either, but compared to a university, it's still a tier below. Why is she asking about that? Before I could even wrap my head around it, her next message came through. Bai Ningbing. I checked my score. Applying for BU's ace major should be a lock. My heart aggressively skipped a beat. With trembling hands, I typed out a line. Me, didn't you want to go to Beijing? Bai Ningbing. What's so great about Beijing? The air quality is bad, and there are too many people. Bai Ningbing. Plus, I get airsick. Bai Ningbing. And most importantly, she sent an ellipsis, completely baiting my curiosity. I stared dead at the screen. I literally forgot how to breathe. A whole minute passed before she sent the second half of her sentence. Bai Ningbing. Our bet isn't completely finished yet. I was totally lost. Me, what do you mean? Didn't it end ages ago? Bai Ningbing. Who said that? You beating me by 3 points gets you a kiss. But you forgot there was another extra condition. An extra condition? I thought hard about it. Seems like there was something like that. At the time, I was acting all cocky and asked, what if I beat you by 4 points? And then she said I'd be hers to boss around for the summer. Holy crap, how did I forget about that part? At the time, I thought I was beating her by at least 7 points. So I completely ignored it. But in the end, I only beat her by 3 points. So that condition shouldn't even be active, right? Me. But I only beat you by 3 points. Bai Ningbing. Exactly. But did you forget my demands? Me. Your demands. Bai Ningbing. If I won, I'd make you do 3 things. Me. Right, but didn't you lose? Bai Ningbing. Yeah, huh. I lost, but now I want to use those 3 demands. On you. I was completely confused. What kind of god-tier logic is this? The loser turning around and making demands of the winner. Bai Ningbing. My first demand is, you have to apply to a university. Bai Ningbing. The second demand is, you have to help me complete the remaining 2 demands. Bai Ningbing. As for the third demand, it's a secret. Looking at the lines of text on my screen, I felt like my CPU was about to fry. This girl completely refuses to play by the rules. Before I even had time to process all this massive info, my dad suddenly leaned over. Son, who are you chatting with? Are your college applications filled out yet? I jumped and quickly slammed my phone face down on the desk. Almost done. I took a deep breath and looked back at the computer screen. A university and BU are literally separated by a single street. The corners of my mouth were curling up uncontrollably. I grabbed the mouse. And without any hesitation, in the first choice slot, I entered a university's school code. Then I picked up my phone and replied to Bai Ningbing with one word. Ever since we locked in our universities, my relationship with Bai Ningbing entered this super ambiguous phase. If you said we were a couple, neither of us had actually made it official. If you said we were friends, it felt way more intimate than just friends. She really did start bossing me around. For example, she'd suddenly text me, Fang Yuan, within 10 minutes. I want to be drinking the mango pomelo sago from the boba shop downstairs, and I'd have to scramble downstairs like a good boy to buy it. Or, for example, she'd say, my mom made chicken soup today, and there's way too much. We can't finish it. Come over and help us clear it out. And I'd have to find an excuse to go over to her place to mooch a meal. Her parents were actually super welcoming to me, probably because Bai Ningbing had given them a heads up. Her mom couldn't stop smiling every time she saw me, constantly putting food on my plate, treating me like her own son. Her dad was a bit more strict. He'd pull me aside to play chess, and casually test my character and IQ while we played. Of course, I brought my absolute A game, acting like the ultimate straight-A honor student. These days of being her slave. Not only did I not mind the grind, I actually loved every second of it, because this was an exclusive VIP privilege given only to me by Bai Ningbing. Halfway through the summer break, Bai Ningbing finally dropped her second demand. Fang Yuan, come with me to a concert. It was her absolute favorite band. Doing a tour stop in our city. Tickets were notoriously impossible to get. She handed this hardcore mission over to me. I mobilized literally every friend and relative I had, set a dozen alarms, and spam-clicked the second tickets drop. After surviving countless lag spikes and dodging the digital queues, I finally snagged 2 seats. Pretty decent grandstand tickets too. When I sent the screenshot to Bai Ningbing, she replied with a good boy, solid work meme. I could completely imagine her on the other end, smiling ear to ear. It started drizzling the day of the concert. We huddled under one umbrella, lined up outside the stadium, surrounded by a massive, hyped-up crowd. The vibe was so fire it could practically evaporate the rain. Bai Ningbing looked incredibly pretty today. A white sundress, layered with a denim jacket on top. She had light makeup on, looking exceptionally stunning under the flickering lights. After getting in, we found our seats. The concert started pretty quickly. The familiar intro started playing. Tens of thousands of people waving glow sticks, singing their lungs out. That feeling was honestly just insane. Bai Ningbing was totally hyped too, singing and screaming along with the crowd. Her face radiated a kind of kind, brilliant smile I had never seen before. When they started playing a classic love song, the atmosphere in the venue peaked. The lead singer screamed into the mic, "Say your love out loud." Couples all around started hugging and kissing. On the Jumbotron, it kept flashing between sweet couples in the audience. I sneaked a glance at Bai Ningbing. She was looking right at me too, our eyes locked in the air. The roaring crowd felt like it just vanished in that moment. All I could hear was my own heart hammering against my ribs. Her eyes, under the colorful neon lights, were stunning, like they held an entire universe of starlight. I felt like I was about to drown in her sea of stars. She looked at me, the corners of her mouth slowly curling into a smile, and then she leaned in closer. The drizzle mixed with the night breeze, carrying that late summer humidity. The tidal wave of tens of thousands of people singing was almost blowing the roof off. But in my world right now, everything went dead silent. I could only see Bai Ningbing's face getting closer, and the sparkle in her eyes, brighter than actual starlight. My brain completely short-circuited. I totally lost the ability to think. What is she doing? Could it be? My heart was beating so fast. It was basically about to explode out of my chest. Right when my thoughts were racing, her soft lips gently pressed against my cheek. A quick peck, parting as soon as they touched. But it felt like a jolt of electricity. Instantly shot through my entire body. I was completely petrified. She kissed me. She actually kissed me first. Bai Ningbing pulled back, her cheeks as red as ripe tomatoes. Even the tips of her ears were burning. She didn't dare look at me, turning her head towards the stage, pretending to be super focused on the song. but her slightly trembling eyelashes and tightly pursed lips totally exposed her inner panic. I raised my hand and carefully touched the spot she just kissed. Right there, it felt like it still held the warmth and softness of her lips. An indescribable wave of absolute euphoria surged up from the bottom of my heart, instantly flooding all my senses. I won this bet that started after the exams. I took a massive absolute WW. I couldn't help but grin widely, smiling like a total idiot. Beside me, Bai Ningbing caught a glimpse out of the corner of her eye of my goofy face. Her face got even redder. She gently nudged me with her elbow. "What are you laughing at? Stop smiling." Her voice carried a hint of a whine, sounding super soft and cute, with literally zero threat level. Not only did I not chill out, I smiled even harder. I leaned in close to her ear and said in a voice only the two of us could hear, "Bai Ningbing, that's totally cheating. The bet rules never said the loser gets to kiss the winner first." Her body stiffened for a second. Then, she stuck her neck out and quietly retorted, "W, who said I lost?" I raised an eyebrow. "I haven't stated my third demand yet." She turned her head to look at me, a flash of mischief in her eyes. "Now, I am officially informing you. My third demand is..." She deliberately paused, leaving me totally hanging. I held my breath, waiting for her verdict. "My third demand is, Fang Yuan." She said it clearly, word by word. "You have to be my boyfriend, and you can't back out for the rest of your life." After saying that, she looked like she had used up all her strength, staring at me nervously, waiting for my answer. In that moment, all the noise around us, all the lights and shadows became nothing but her background. In my eyes there was only her, and those eyes, full of expectation, nerves, and raw courage. I smiled, a genuine smile from the bottom of my heart. I reached out my hand, and under her gaze, tightly grabbed her hand. Her hand was super soft, with a slight chill to it. It trembled a bit the second I grabbed it, but she didn't pull away. I raised our hands up in front of us, interlocking our fingers tight. Then I looked into her eyes, and seriously gave her my answer. "As you wish, my queen." After the concert ended, the crowd cleared out like a receding tide. Bai Ningbing and I held hands, blending into the crowd, and slowly walking out. The rain had already stopped. The air was filled with the fresh scent of grass. After the rain, neither of us said a word, just quietly soaking in this sweet vibe that belonged only to us. The warmth from her palm felt so real and cozy. I felt like I was literally walking on clouds, every step feeling light and floaty. We walked out to the plaza outside the stadium. The crowd gradually thinned out. Bai Ningbing suddenly stopped walking. "What's wrong?" I asked. She didn't say anything, just stood on her tiptoes, and fixed my collar that had gotten wet from the rain. Her movements were super gentle, her gaze completely focused. The street lamp cast a soft glow over her side profile, her long eyelashes like two little brushes, gently sweeping across my heart. I felt like I couldn't even breathe. "There," she finished adjusting it, patted my shoulder in satisfaction. I looked at her face, just inches away, and instinctively asked, "Bai Ningbing, yeah? That college exam beat. Did you plan this whole thing from the very start? From estimating the scores, to the bet, and then the bonus points. Every step feels like a carefully calculated trap, and I was just the stupid willing rabbit that dove headfirst right into it." Bai Ningbing paused when she heard my question, and then her pretty eyes curved into two little crescents. She didn't answer directly. Instead, she hit me back with "Ow, guess." That playful, cheeky look instantly reminded me of when we were in the escape room, and she was hugging me, trembling in fear. Looks like she wasn't entirely an innocent little rabbit after all. She was a little fox who knew exactly how to play the fool to catch her prey. I didn't push for an answer, because the answer didn't matter anymore. What mattered was that right now, she was by my side. We were officially legitimately boyfriend and girlfriend. "Let's go. I'll walk you home." I took her hand and kept walking forward. "Fang Yuan." She suddenly called my name again. "What is it now?" "My queen." I smiled and looked back. She looked at me, her eyes totally sparkling. "We still haven't finished cashing in on the bet, huh?" I was confused. "How is it still not finished? You scored 3 points higher than me." "The prize was a kiss." At the concert, I only kissed your cheek. She paused, her cheeks starting to blush again. That doesn't count. Her voice got quieter as she spoke. According to the rules, it should be you kissing me. Seeing her looking so shy but totally serious, my heartbeat went out of control again. My God, this girl's riz is off the charts. Who could even resist this? I felt my throat go insanely dry. The plaza was basically empty now, leaving just the two of us, standing in the middle of the wide-open square. The distant street lamps cast a dim yellow glow, stretching our shadows super long, tangling them together. Bai Ningbing kept her head down, too shy to look at me, her fingers nervously picking at her shirt hem, looking exactly like someone waiting for judgment. I took a deep breath, trying to calm my heart that was about to explode. Then I took her hand and walked to the edge of the plaza, under the shadow of a row of osmanthus trees. The lighting here was much dimmer. It could help hide some of her blushing. Bai Ningbing, I called her name, my voice a little hoarse. She answered softly, burying her head even lower. I reached out my other hand, and gently tilted her chin, forcing her to look at me. Her face, even in the dim light, was still red enough to bleed, her long eyelashes like a startled butterfly, with its wings trembling non-stop. Losers gotta pay up. I looked into her eyes, and said word by word, now I'm here to collect my trophy. After saying that, I didn't hesitate anymore. I lowered my head, and slowly moved towards her soft pink lips, and kissed her. Her body noticeably stiffened for a second, but this time, she didn't dodge. She just awkwardly squeezed her eyes shut. Her lips were even softer than I imagined, even sweeter, carrying a hint of fresh grass after the rain, and a fragrance completely unique to her. The kiss was super light and gentle. Neither of us had any experience, just awkwardly figuring it out off pure instinct. But the emotion behind it was more genuine than any passionate makeout session, and way hotter. I don't even know how long passed before we finally separated, panting for air. Both of our faces were unbelievably red. Bai Ningbing leaned into my chest, taking deep breaths. Too shy to look up, I held her tight, feeling her warm body and rapid heartbeat. My heart was completely filled to the brim with this massive sense of happiness. So, this is what liking someone feels like. Sweet and sour. Like downing a whole bottle of vodka. That special soda she personally handed me. It's completely addicting. Fang Yuan, the girl in my arms, spoke up with a muffled voice. Yeah, ha. You're so mean. How am I mean? I asked, playing totally dumb. She stuttered for a while but couldn't form a sentence. Finally, she just lightly punched me in the chest. The force behind it was basically just flirting. I smiled, caught her hand, brought it to my lips, and gently kissed it. Bai Ningbing, what? I forgot to tell you something. Tell me what? Actually, when estimating my scores, I missed more than just that big physics question. She snapped her head up and looked at me, totally confused. Seeing her look so insanely cute, I couldn't hold back, leaned down, and kissed her again. Then, right next to her ear, I softly revealed my final secret. I completely went off topic on my Chinese essay. I thought I'd get half points at best. Turns out, the grader must be my long-lost relative or something. They gave me a near-perfect pity score. So even without that physics question, I was guaranteed to win. You were destined to fall for me. The end.